Yep, all ready, Stephen.
All right, here with head coach Josh Taylor. Coach Taylor just completed your third weekend of softball. Went down to the Rocket City Showcase in Huntsville, Alabama. Played four teams, three SEC teams. Finished 2-2 in the week. Took down number 17 Auburn 5-1. Just talk about the weekend as a whole, facing the tough competition from the SEC this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for us. I mean, our whole schedule all year so far, these first 3 weeks have been, they've presented challenges, and it's been good for us. I mean, we're right now, we're at 7-7. We'd like to be better. We feel there's 2 games in there we want back, obviously, but there's also a couple games in there with the win over Oklahoma State and the win over Auburn that are good wins for us. They're good wins for RPI. They look good, to committees later in the year. We need to start stringing wins together now, and I think Floyd at the top of our rotation has been fantastic. I think our offense has been good. I think our defense has been good. Right now, we have to find some other arms that are going to step up. But you want to win a championship, you have to win on Saturdays. And as much as we would be tempted to throw Allie every day, you just can't do that to somebody physically, or stuff would decline. So keeping those things in mind, I mean, we have to find some other arms that are going to step up and provide us with some quality innings. And other than that, though, I mean, as far as the level of pitching we've seen, I think we're hitting 303 as a team right now. We've seen some really high-level pitching. I like where we're at on that side of it. And, defensively, for the most part, we had some mishaps against East Tennessee on Saturday night. But other than that, we've been really clean on the defensive side as well. And it's going to be nice to get a couple practices in before we head out this week. We haven't practiced really fully because when we had opportunities before, it was raining. So it's just indoor stuff. So it'll be nice to get outside and get some of those rotations and different things cleaned up over the next few days before we head to Hattiesburg.
You had 15 extra base hits this past week. You saw a lot of power this week. You had Reagan Marchand hit 3 home runs. You saw Claire Rayleigh come on strong. She had 3 home runs. Alexis Gilio, she hit her first career home run along with Carolyn Glover. Just talk about the power in the middle of this lineup. You talked about it to the team after the game against Ole Miss. You had speed at the top, power in the middle. You're finally starting to all see come together now. Just talk about the power in the lineup from that 4, 5, 6, and 7 hitters.
Yeah, I mean, they're seeing the ball good and they understand their role. Their runs produce runs, and we've been preaching that since September. And Elena Hang did a really good job. I think we'd be remiss not to mention her as freshman. Really had a great weekend as well. So far as our table setters have been doing a good job of making sure none of those are solo shots. If you look at all those home runs, I don't think any of them were solo shots. And so when we can have runners on base for the meat of our order, I think it's good. I mean, and Reagan and Nicole and Claire, and they're just doing a good job of getting into plus counts and getting balls that they can handle and then handling them. And so if they can continue to do that, we like where we're at. But, as far as our entire lineup, I think Allie Furr at the bottom of the order has been doing a really good job of turning the lineup over. Elena Hang, Gilio at the top have been doing a good job of finding their way on base and setting that table for Alina Rogers has been doing a really good job at the top of the order as well. So, Reagan and Nicole and Rayleigh are reaping the rewards of their hard work of finding a way on base, and they're doing their job as well by finding their barrel. And they've been doing a really good job of getting into really high level, really quality counts, and then being really explosive in plus counts has been a really nice thing to see.
Just talk about the confidence, the wins over Auburn and out hitting Ole Miss does to the team going into a tournament this weekend in Hattiesburg. You got 5 games against very 5 winnable opponents. Then you have SFA next Tuesday before you get into conference play. Just talk about the confidence that instills in a team like this moving forward into conference play.
Well, we have a lot of confidence. I mean, we've seen some of the best pitching in the country so far, and we've been able to, do some damage against them. And so, I mean, I think our confidence level in the areas as far as defensively and our offense is very high right now. I think Allie Floyd is carrying a ton of confidence with wins over Oklahoma State, Auburn, and she shut people down, and we know that she can do that. I think that once again, you're talking about we have to find some other arms to step up and get them some confidence. I think if you're talking about three quarters of our team, or we're very, very confident. I think we need to find some confidence in those other arms and get them right. And we've talked to them about it. It's not stuff that they're lacking. They have stuff to get people out. They have good stuff. We see it every day in the bullpen. They have enough velocity. They have all the tools that is necessary to do it. You talked about confidence, and so I think that's where they need to find a way to get a little more dog in them and find a way to get people out. And if that's 3 outs, if that's 6 outs, if that's 9 outs, whatever that number is, they need to find a way to do that. And we're going into conference play in a few weeks, and that's what they're going to need. And we're playing one game a day. I think it's not a tall ask. They just need to find a little bit of dog in them and bear down and locate and throw with velocity and do what they do in the bullpen. And I think as soon as it translates for them, I think it's going to be really good for us, because Floyd's going to be Floyd, and our offense is going to be our offense, and our defense is pretty steady. So we're really close. We're really close to being where we want to be, and I think if we can find that stride once we hit New Mexico State in opening weekend of conference play, we're a very scary opponent for anybody we play, and it doesn't matter who we play.
You mentioned finding different arms. I remember we were talking to Lane in the preseason about, I think they're starting a true freshman at first too, and he was kind of saying you don't want the kid, the true freshman to kind of lack in confidence, but you also don't have really the luxury of kind of letting them grow up, I guess, as the season goes on. Like, what's the balance, I guess, of the staff of kind of letting those freshman arms kind of ride out their first collegiate season, but at the same time, like, there kind of is a demarcation point of like we can't let them kind of keep going out there and not produce. Like, what's kind of the line, I guess, as a staff, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, we were asking 2 freshmen, Riley Scholl and Lainey Johnson. And Johnson's been pretty good her last 2 outings, and so that's really encouraging. And hopefully she can get some confidence as she go. And Riley's actually been good in her last few outings as well. It's finding where they're best and trying to bring them along. I wouldn't say slowly at this point can't be the topic, because we're asking for innings, and it's putting them in positions to where they can have success and find some confidence. But at the same time, softball, and the game's the game, and they have to be able to compete in those moments, whatever the situation may be. I think that we are getting there. I think that they are getting there. But yeah, I mean, confidence is tough, but we are going to be asking them to get people out this year, and that's what their mindset's got to be. And it's no difference for Alyssa Martin or Madison Buster. Madison Buster's had success at this level. So has Alyssa Martin. So they have to find a way to find some consistency to what they're doing. And it's cliche as much as it's cliche. They've got to do it one pitch at a time. They've got to throw one quality pitch and then be able to do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And then next thing you know, now you're actually finding yourself in some confidence. I think right now they're floundering a little bit of the space is too big for a little bit in regards to they're thinking too much about what will happen rather than just executing that pitch. And that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal for freshmen. And once they find a way to get into that mode, and we'll have the next 2 days to really talk to them about it and get through that a little bit. But it's really just translation for those 4 from the bullpen to the game. So, I mean, right now, that's where they're struggling, and because their bullpens are, if you come and watch our bullpens, they're really dynamic in the bullpen on what they're doing. It's getting over that hump of when a batter's standing in there and they're, presenting a danger that they need to be able to, if we're asking for something firm and down in, they need to be able to execute that pitch. And right now the ball's leaking middle, and I think that's confidence. I think that's a little bit of confidence in where that fear comes from. I mean, but we're going to have to get over that if we're going to have the season we want to have. And they're more than capable of doing it. And there's no doubt in my mind that they're capable of doing it. I've seen it over and over and over again for the last 7 months. It's just a matter of them executing at this point. And I think it's a good thing in the fact that once I think they do it, the light bulb goes off, and next thing you know, they're able to repeat it. Repeatable actions is our sport. And so I have confidence they're going to get it done, but I can't believe in them more than they believe in themselves, and so they've got to find that belief and execute.
For watching Gilio in center, I'm curious, like for the younger players like Elena or Allie, like coverage wise, it seems like Gilio just covers a lot of ground really quickly, and obviously makes a lot of great plays in center. Like, what do you want those two, I guess, kind of younger players to kind of take away from like the way that she plays defense and kind of covers a lot of ground? It seems like, you know, obviously last year in the conference tournament, she's making a ton of great plays. Like, what do you kind of want those youngsters to kind of take away from how she plays?
Well, I think with Elena Hang, I think it's there. I mean, this kid goes out and makes plays. I mean, she made a couple plays this last weekend that are phenomenal. Over the shoulder, running away from it. She made one here as well. And so I think Elena Hang goes and gets the ball. She understands. She's learning some things. There's some base running read problems early in the weekend. But, you know, those things are for freshmen. And those are good mistakes. I mean, we didn't like the fact it took us 2 singles to score from second base because of poor reads. But at the same time, you know, those are good moments for her to learn because she also takes the extra base sometimes. So you can see it coming along. As far as the outfield play with having Giglio out there, it's, you know, I think Hang's there. I think the other ones are still learning how to want the ball and go get it and you know, calm down a little bit and get off their heels in regards to how they're running after the ball, because I think the ball tends to bounce on them a little bit, and that's one thing Giglio's really good at is kind of she kind of glides when she runs, and so they're learning those things. But you know, having Giglio and out there is definitely a luxury, and she does a great job of leading that group. And I think that, you know, Elena Hang's gonna, you know, just have a fantastic career here. We're really excited about her future. And Allie Furst, same thing. She's getting a lot of at bats. Her average doesn't necessarily signify the quality of the at bat she's given us time and time again. And, you know, A1 out there in Wright's doing a great job. I mean, so, and she really came on a little bit this last week and a half, last 10 days as well offensively. So, you know, seeing those things kind of come together has been really nice. But having that leadership in center is definitely a luxury for us, and having somebody with her experience, not just with us, but at BYU, and having that transfer experience and how good she actually loves it here, and having that message filter throughout our team is really valuable too, for not only future recruiting and incoming transfers, but also people that might be thinking about whatever their future may bring as well. They realize that it's a really dynamic and great atmosphere to be in here at Louisiana Tech.
You got anything?
I'm good, appreciate it.
All right, Coach Taylor, good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.